fashion finishes outside one, number 5 in the UK, 70 in the US. Guitarist Carlos Alomar noted that fashion had its musical roots in fame. It's itself adapted from the riff to the Flares' 1961 track Foot Stompin'. David would say it wasn't a political song, but the lyrics had others feeling differently. The lyrics turned to the left, turned to the right, and reference to the Goon Squad had some interpreting it to be about fascism. Is he drawing an analogy between fashion and fascism here? What's your interpretation of the lyrics?
I think so. There's my restrained answer. I feel it's he's playing with it, and that's part of the great fun of the song. It's really good, fun, danceable thing about being one together with other people on the dance floor, just losing yourself, engaged with the song to the rhythm. It's all about having fun and forgetting big, heavy, real world concerns. Um, at the same time, it's also a song that is quite perhaps satirical, sarcastic, throwing out. He teases the line "fa fa fa fashion," and you almost feel he's going to trip over and say fascism or fascist, which he makes a reference to in "It's No Game," and it's looking back to his notorious return to the UK in '76, where he makes a wave from his open-top Mercedes Benz, and everyone's like, "He did a Sieg Heil Hitler salute. Oh my God, World War II is barely just over." Um, and I think he's sort of taking the piss out of the listener and his critics at the same time. I think his real target is not necessarily pure politics. It's more about character, identity, class, the British culture of being reserved and withdrawn and sticking to your lines, having your sharp divisions of lower, middle, and upper. Whereas in America, I understand it, aside from like political philosophy, in America, I think the divisions are more straightened, where it's more about how much money you do or don't have, you know, and that partly can equate your standing in society. Whereas, the arrogance of British culture, for example, is that we go back to old Europe, hundreds of years. Who are your family? Where are they from? What did they do? Um, and then there's inherited wealth, inherited title, and inherited reputation for something that maybe happened 500 years ago or more, when your ancestor was a knight and did a good deed. And I think he's just kicking back against that, kicking against the barbs of the arrogant pricks in their middle class enclaves who are so determined to look after themselves and maintain their station and potentially one day climb the social ladder, that they forget about other people adjacent to them. They try to ignore and reject people who are different to them because they fear change shifting under their feet and losing their own position, and obviously kicking down the rungs of the ladder beneath them as they climb up.
I have
Um,
to believe too he was influenced by being in New York and the fashion world in New
mm,
York, right? I mean, I think that just sparked the created that all of those thoughts went through his head. He
yeah,
probably I could
yeah.
see him at one of those fashion shows where all the models come walking out, they all look the same,
Mhm.
expressionless face, and I think all that stuff was stirring in his head. At least that's my thought. I
Yeah,
don't
for
know if he
sure, for
was
sure. The groove in the song is just kind of
right.
relentless. It's a bit krautrock. It's marching. You make a good point about the models. Actually, it's the idea of homogeneity, or at least fitting in. So the
Yeah.
benefit of fitting in is that I'm an individual, but I'm an individual like these people. These are my
Yes.
tribe,
You have to
and
wait. You have to be the same weight, the same height, the same look. You have
yeah.
to dress the same. You have to have the same look
And,
on your
and as a
face.
metaphor, that really works
Yeah.
because it gives people strength and security and mutual identity.